You can't be a bad husband and a good dad because your kids are watching how you treat their mother. That's literally their first lesson on what love looks like. You can buy them whatever, toys, take them out, show up for every birthday party, but if they see you disrespect their mom, ignoring her, or even making her cry, they're learning that that's okay. You think that you're just arguing with your wife, but really, you're teaching your son how to treat women and you're showing your daughter what to accept from a man. Your presence means absolutely nothing if your behavior is damaging the people that you claim to love the most. So, no, you cannot be a bad husband and a good dad because real fatherhood starts with how you treat their mother.
Okay. Okay, let's start with Chris. Chris, are you a dad?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you agree or disagree with her?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of agree to a certain extent, but I don't know. There's a lot that goes into it. I do feel like just the whole dynamic of the relationship affects the kids. So yeah, as far as the father and leading the household, but if you're trying to lead and your lead isn't being followed, it can kind of damage in that way as well. But yeah, if as the man of the household you aren't leading and I'm not doing what I need to do, it's fully on me. Say if I have a woman that is being submissive and willing to follow my lead, and I'm just not doing my job, doing what I need to do, then yeah, I feel like that can be seen as not being a good father. But you know, not every situation is like that. Not every situation is clean cut like that. So every situation is different.
Okay. Any ladies disagree with him? Jazz, you quiet? Did you agree with the girl in the video?
Yeah, no, I think there's some truth to what she's saying. I think when any parent displays like toxic or abusive behavior towards the parent of that, towards the other parent of that child, they can internalize that and normalize that in a way where they don't understand what's happening is wrong. So yeah, I think there's some truth to what she's saying. You definitely have to be mindful. You can't be if you're going to be a good father. A part of being a good father is playing healthy relationship dynamics between the parents. I would think so. So yeah, that's what I think of it.
Mm-hmm. Anybody disagree with her in the video?
I mean, I do.
I disagree with her.
I disagree. I disagree. Excluding from any violence in the situation. I disagree because you can learn something from everybody. Even if you're I mean, I come from parents who were married for a long time and then later divorced. But then again, my parents divorced when I was well over 17 years old, and my older brother was an adult. I think you can learn something. You can definitely be a good dad. Maybe you weren't a great husband, fine, granted, but you still are able to learn something. If you weren't able to learn what a good marriage is like, what a good partnership is like from your dad, then at least you learn from what it's not, and it's still a learning opportunity.
Yeah, but the lady in that video sounded angry, like she's lashing out at. She's saying you can't be a bad husband and a good father because maybe he's trying to correct something that she's doing wrong. She's talking like she's perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like why am I a bad dad? Oh, because you didn't do this for me, or you always say this.
Right. It's one-sided. It's one-sided. So the blame is solely put on one parent. We don't know. And children in general, you don't know what's going on in your parents' marriage.
Listen,
That's none of your business to begin with. Like that is
That
none of
part.
your
I
business to begin
argue
with.
when I'm
Your
arguing with my
children
wife.
should never have anything about you being a good husband. That has nothing to do with you.
But it's so funny that this topic comes up because earlier today I was watching, just scrolling, and I saw this really cute video of little babies emulating their old grandpa walking, and little babies watching, their dad had a broken leg, so they're trying to walk like the dad with the broken leg. Kids emulate everything that they see. So whether it's good behavior or bad behavior, they're going to emulate it. Whatever, they may not even know that it's good or bad. Kids are just going to emulate whatever they see in their family lifestyle or dynamic. I came from a family my parents were married until I was 15 years old and they divorced. And my sisters did not get to see the good side of my father. I happened to see the good sides of my father. He wasn't a good dad to them. He was a great dad to me. So at the end of the day, do I feel like he was a bad father? They got divorced. He couldn't be there. He couldn't do the things that necessarily he was able to do for me. I don't think he was a bad dad. I think he wasn't given the opportunity to be a good father because of the divorce. So I think it really depends on family dynamic, but children definitely do emulate what they see. So if they see their father screaming at their mother or their mother screaming at their father, they're going to pick up those toxic traits. And that's just my 2 cents because I don't have kids, and God bless y'all that do.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real. When I argue with my wife, my kids go to her side, and I start arguing at them. Would you know what I'm saying? Like it's. I don't know what that is, but it
That's
irks
just
me.
the normal shampoo.
It irks me, yeah, but it's not right. It's not right.
It's not. It's
what
not.
on her side for?
It's not. But most of the time, like in my situation, I got custody of my daughter, so she, I do what I'm supposed to do, but me and her mom ain't together. But that's because of all kinds of stuff that I'm not going to mention. But you know what I'm saying? But when I was in a relationship and
why say y'all not together and not add the context?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
like if you're gonna bring it up, then you're gonna have to give us.
It's okay. I'll give you the context, Anton. I'll give you the context. Her mom, after she had her, she kind of went to the loony bin. So I've had her since she's 1 year old. She's 15 now. So
did she ever get out of the loony bin?
No, she's still dealing with mental issues and stuff like that. So
did she have symptoms before she had a kid, or was it after the kid?
Nah, she was normal. I think she got postpartum.
He did not.
She got postpartum. She got the postpartum, and I think the postpartum really, for some women, it really takes them out, and it really took her out. So, with my situation, like my daughter, she'll like the last relationship I was in, God rest her soul, she passed away, but she picked up on things that she would do. She picked up on things that she would do, and she would, come at me like that. You know what I'm saying? So kids do, and they do imitate people that they're around and that they love. They'll imitate their dad, they'll imitate their mom, or even somebody else that you might have a relationship with. You know what I'm saying? So they pick up on the little traits that you'll see, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. So
but why do they run to their side? Like why
I don't know. It's just like
run to the woman's side. That shit irks
but
me.
Look, Shampoo, like she
emulate who they love.
She said you can't be a good dad. She said you can't be a good dad and not be a good husband. How?
You can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think those are two different things.
There's plenty of good men out here that are raising kids that are good dads. Plenty of them out here.
Maybe she meant it in the same household. Maybe she meant it where you're outside. She's probably talking about that dynamic as in the same household.
Well, context matters, right? Context matters, right?
Yeah, everything.
Well, he literally says husband. So
yeah, so when I heard that, I'm thinking they're all in the same household. It's not like a single dad, your baby daddy or whatever. They're in the same household. You got a husband that's treating the wife in a poor manner to where now them kids
in
are
her eyes.
Yeah, in her eyes, or vice versa. And it's same thing with women. You can't, for me, you can't be a good mom and be a horrible wife, because those things, like, they align. Them kids are seeing that. You're conditioning your kids to either hate their dad or hate you. So it's like, I kind of agree with her.
It's separate. It's a parent and separate.
Yeah, if I can speak to it, I just wanted to say, like, I feel like a lot of times what people do is they blend things together so much to where you can't even separate the person from the action. And it's like, being a dad, it's not the way somebody treats you is not going to take away the fact that this person is either a good or a bad dad. That is just a title. That is something that is just, inherited or whatever. Just like a wife. Like, I'm a wife. There's times where I may be, really good, and there may be times where I'm like really shitty. But at the end of the day, like, how I am as a wife is not the same as how I am as a mother. And it's the same thing for a father. Like, these are two separate types of relationships. Like, how a man is with the woman, whether she really doesn't like how he deals with her, if he comes down hard on her or something like that. If the children see, they have their own perspective. So the wife has her perspective because she's on the receiving end. But it's like, sometimes certain things are needed, but the way she's coming at it, it sounds like it's a very personal thing, and like she's just being extremely subjective. And she kept like looking to the side, like she trying to make sure nobody walking through the door while she's saying what she's saying on the video. I don't know, but I just picked up like she just feels some kind of way towards her own husband and wanted to say, make this a whole thing, but it's not accurate.
But can I say something? Take it out. I got a question. If you, Kamaya, you are a wife and a mother, but right, if you're treating your kids good and you're not treating your husband good, aren't you? The husband comes before the kids. So
right, but that doesn't have anything to do with the children, is what I'm saying. It's a husband
and
a wife thing.
But your kids are seeing how you treat your husband.
But kids don't always understand exactly what's going on. So sometimes,
true, and that's why there's a lot of messed up kids, because then they see their mother shouting at their dad, and then later on, 10 years later, then they think it's okay that a man can shout at me because I saw mommy do it to daddy. So all that conditions their kids in some way.
No, trust me, I get it. I'm not speaking so much towards
not to make the guy yell at them. Like,
no. I'm not speaking so much towards like the toxic situations. I'm speaking more towards simple stuff like, he doesn't take out the trash. He doesn't give me flowers, and he doesn't show me love the way I want to be loved, because I have the love language of acts and service, and I just don't feel love. So my children are going to see the lack thereof because he's not. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like the actual, he's smacking you in front of the kids. He's cursing you out in front of the kids, stuff like that. Like, no, because a lot of times it's really not even that. It's really more so the women, like, he just doesn't love me the way I need him to love me. And he's not good to me. He's not good enough to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Say it in front of the kids, like,
right. And then she's crying because she's being emotional. And now it's like, oh, you're making me cry. And it's like, no, you are not, aligned the way you need to be aligned right now. And you showing out in front of these kids, and you're doing more of the damage to these kids than he is.
And you know
he
what?
Can be a good father and not a good husband to you because you say it.
And to be honest, kids can take a lot of stuff that you don't have to baby them. You can argue around your kids. You can argue, you can curse, you can do
very
all that
forgiving.
around them.
They're super
Well,
forgiving.
what about the day back in the days when you hear about these stories now where your grandma stayed with your grandpa no matter what, and he was a good father, but he wasn't the greatest husband. Like you hear about like that doesn't happen anymore. So I think you can be a bad husband and a good dad, because back in those days a lot of children were raised perfectly fine, not knowing that their dad had a whole nother family on the other side of town, and he had a good family life with them versus a good, or was a good husband
Right, but
or a good man to that woman and not necessarily to your mother. So I think it can be, you can be a bad husband and a good dad, because like I said, a lot of people never knew that their father had a whole nother family on the other side of
and
town.
I'm just gonna
Exactly.
take the
Until
whole
he died.
dad, because a good parent and a good spouse should be separate. And who's to say which one's the
Correct.
good parent? Which one's a good parent? Which one's a bad parent? Your children.
I
Right.
Yeah, because we
know.
was hearing from
Who's
her
supposed to say
side,
that?
like
She said a good dad. She
the kids
automatically
made.
took that. She
Yeah,
automatically took that.
I
The good
think
dad, and I
people,
mean a good husband. I'm like, no, it should be two separate things. Either you can be a good parent and not necessarily be a good spouse for that person.
yeah, because you
Say
may.
which one's which.
Because those people may have experienced a good family, but like, or a good father or a good mom, and they know how to emulate that, but they've never seen a good wholesome household. So you're
Well,
in
hold
a
on, hold on.
household, and then now all of a sudden it's like you just doing whatever you see on
It's all
social media or
love.
whatever.
Hold on, wait. Let me
can I,
ask y'all a
can I
question.
comment real quick? I was
Go ahead, Jax.
Thank you. I think what it boils down to is just being able to display respect for each other in front of children, right? Like regardless of who did what wrong, like the focus should just be on like a part of like, so as a good mom, I can't be a good mom. I can't say I'm being a good mom, but every time my child sees me interact with their father, I'm disrespecting their father. I'm disrespecting my husband. I'm not showing him the love or the loyalty or whatever.
Correcting him.
Like those traits that display honor and respect. That's going to teach my daughter that she can dog men. That's going to teach my daughter that this is how she should behave in a relationship. In turn, that would make me a bad parent because I was displaying bad traits and behaviors towards my child's father. And I think it's the same way in reverse. You can't say I'm a good father, but I'm displaying nothing but disrespect towards my child's mother. You know what I mean? They are absorbing that, and and because they revere their parent, they're going to think what their parent is doing, what their parent is doing is right. They're going to think like, oh, this is normal. Well, my daddy did it. Well, my mama did it. So I'm going to do it. And so I agree, Shampoo, like no one's saying be picture perfect in front of your kids. You're going to be human and have those moments where you fall out. But I think it is more important to always show honor and respect between parents in front of children so that they can know what
Yeah,
that
but
looks
don't.
like.
But if I'm in a heated, I'm gonna call it an argument. If I'm in a heated discussion that I'm trying to win against my wife, because that's what it is, a battle at that point, not later on when we make up. In that heated moment, I'm trying to go for the juggler when I'm arguing with her. I'm trying to make her cry. That's my mission. And if the kids hear that, the kids hear it, I don't give a damn. They could be in the room with me.
So,
I don't
Shampoo,
care.
That's
what you just
awful.
said, that
No, it's not awful.
That's awful.
It's very unhealthy ways in trying to resolve a problem. I'm of the belief when you're with your person, you don't attack each other. When there's a problem, you attack the problem together. And what you just displayed, what you just conveyed to me is that what you would rather attack the person. Give me a second. You would rather attack the person and make her cry, like you said, go for the jugular. What are you actually teaching your kid when it comes to conflict resolution?
But
But that would be in the same regard as far as being subjective when it comes to like posting this type of thing about your husband not being a good husband and can't be a good parent because he's not a good husband. Like that's attacking,
she don't care.
a person.
She
It's
don't care.
literally going for the jugular as well. But it's like you still have to understand these are two separate things. And the example that you gave, you're speaking of being a good example as a wife, not necessarily being a good parent. You're talking about showing your children how to be a good spouse. That has nothing to do with being a good parent. They're like saying like, oh, if they see me
No, what I was
acting
saying.
this or coming
Let me
this way
try-
towards my husband, then that's not being a good parent. No, that's not showing that you are showing them how to be a good spouse.